Alright, students, this is Mr. Holloway, and this is the first of several videos that I'll be doing to get us up to speed on grammar, and which is a very, very important aspect of this language arts class that you'll be using this year. Alright, first of all, grammar and its definition is a way of thinking about language. It's a very, very simple definition. We're going to use that definition throughout the year, basically at the beginning of almost all of the classes. Grammar is a way of thinking about language. And because language is the core of all the contents that you'll be studying this year in all of your classes, not just English, but all of your classes are, for the most part, taught using the English language. Grammar is going to be very, very important. The third point I want to make is that punctuation is a function of grammar, meaning that without punctuation, grammar is not really going to work as it should. It's almost the analogy can be made: if you don't have gas, your car is not going to function. Without punctuation, grammar can't function. So it is also the art of marking, grammar, so that the written ideas that you have are not confusing. So, what does this mean for you as a student? We're going to be doing in-depth study of grammar. We're going to be looking at those patterns, the very important word, patterns, that make up the English language. And so we'll be using and also be making connections with other languages, because French is a language and it has a specific grammar structure. Arabic has a grammar structure, so all languages have these. And we're going to use the analysis of sentences. We're going to analyze sentences, because sentences are the building blocks of our language. And we're going to use those sentences, pieces of great writing, using 4 levels of analysis, 4 levels of grammar. And that's going to be on my next slide. That we'll talk about the 4 levels. So 4-level sentence analysis. We're going to be breaking down these sentences into their parts, and we're going to take it easy. We're going to first start with an in-depth study of parts of speech. Next, we'll move on to parts of a sentence, and when we say parts of a sentence, we want to say, does it have a subject? Does it have a predicate? That's an abbreviation for predicate. Do we have a direct object? Or does that refer back to maybe an indirect object? We're going to also be talking about phrases, things like prepositional phrases, and then there are a whole host of others like infinitives. The infinitive phrase. And the last level we're going to talk about are clauses. The 2 major ones are independent and dependent. All right, so I'm just looking forward to working with you guys. Please forgive my handwriting. I'm sort of doing this on the fly. But I'm really looking forward to working with us on these particular sentence analysis. If we look at really great sentences, we're going to see how authors use this grammar structure to their advantage, and how they're able to manipulate the language to make us feel certain ways. All right, so here's the last little bit. I want to give you an example of this analysis. So let's see if we can do this one together. Very famous sentence by Dr. Seuss. I do not like green eggs and ham. And this is how this would work. We will first analyze it for the sentence for its part of speech. So each one of these words is a part of speech. So I is what part of speech? If you said pronoun, you're correct. Do is what part of speech? If you said a verb, you are correct. Not is what part of speech? If you said adverb, you are correct. Like is what part of speech? If you said verb, you are correct. Green. Green is an adjective. You are correct if you say an adjective. Egg is what part of speech? It's a noun. And is what part of speech? And is a conjunction. And ham is what part of speech? You got it? Ham is a noun. So, there we are. Our analysis of the parts of speech of the sentence. Now, we're going to see patterns in these, in which the parts of speech sort of fit in certain places. It's going to be a very, very interesting year, I think. Part 2 of analysis means that we look at the parts of the sentence. And every sentence has to have a subject and a predicate. And here are our subjects and predicates here. We've got I, which is our subject. It's who the sentence is about. Do like, not is the adverb that modifies or tells us to what extent we like. We don't like it. So that's our part of our predicate. Green, eggs, and ham, really the direct objects are eggs and ham. That's why we have a compound direct object there. Actually, I'm going to move this part, and it would be better if it was more under eggs and ham and not necessarily green, but it's okay. It's okay. All right, so that's our analysis of the parts of the sentence. Now, quick question. You may know it, you may not. Does this sentence have any phrases? Now, a phrase, we're going to talk about it and give you a great definition for it. But phrases are groups of words that can take on a single part of speech. It's going to be very, very good here. We're going to do tons of practice with it. Actually, this sentence does not have any prepositional, a positive, or verbal phrases. Oh, I should have a comma here, students. Mr. Holloway's into his punctuation. There should be a comma there after a positive. All right. Next thing is clauses. How many clauses do we have? We have one clause, and it is an independent clause. One independent clause that is a simple declarative sentence. It declares something about me. I do not like green eggs and ham. Right, so that's where we're going to be going in and analyzing these sentences, and hopefully you will be modeling. I will model for you, and you guys will create gorgeous sentences using this form of analysis. All right. Upcoming, there'll be videos on all the different parts of speech. Some of them I might combine, some of them I might not. And then we'll move on to parts of sentences, and then therefore we'll move on as well to phrases and clauses. Thanks for listening.